inclusive of all of the other people that are in scouting.
I think it sends this really strong message to everyone in America that they can come to this program, they can bring their authentic self, they can be who they are, right, and they will be welcomed here. The argument that I make with the people that say, well, I always like Boy Scouts of America or BSA, why do we have to change? Go, membership is at historic lows, right? Uh, Part of my job is to reduce all the barriers I possibly can for people to accept us as an organization and to join.
In the past, the name itself or the name alone, even though we were open up to girls, there were still a couple of different challenges that we were facing. It wasn't just other scouts that were trying to put us down, but also some adults who were still not open to it. And so having it nationally recognized that girls are being welcomed and included in scouting allows it to be a more safe space just in general. But I think it's also important that scouts everywhere feel like the national scouting community is accepting them.
Well, good damn afternoon, Americans. Jericho Green here with you once again. And you heard it from the horse's mouths. Make sure you guys get in the description box, hit the link to my new designs on Teespring, and you can get 20% off promo code Sloppy Joe, all caps, no spaces. And I am back on X. That's right. I appealed my suspension and I was granted access by the X overlords. So make sure you hit that link. Follow me on X at green_Jericho. I figured it's under new ownership. Maybe I'll be allowed to say whatever I want. So, yeah, it's official that the Boy Scouts of America are no longer known as the Boy Scouts. What? How can the Boy Scouts not be known as the Boy Scouts? Well, that's what happens. That's what happens when you have a bunch of lawsuits because of sexual assault and things of that nature. And the girl, she is one of the Girl Scouts, but not in the Girl Scout. She's one of the Girl Boy Scouts. I. Remember Chester Cheetah? I. Shit's too confusing. But basically, because of the bankruptcy they suffered due to the lawsuits because of little boys being molested by Boy Scout leaders now, and they're suffering the loss of a lot of scouts. The numbers aren't up, so they opened it a few years back. They opened it up to girls. I think I did a video on that. They opened it up to girls because of their numbers were doing so bad. But I got a few problems with this, as you could probably imagine, and I am going to talk about those issues that I have with it. And I'm going to tell you how single parent homes or broken families play into this. Yeah, there's a connection. So I'll read this article first, part of this article first, just so you kind of understand what's going on. It says the Boy Scouts of America is changing its name for the first time in its 114-year history and will become Scouting America. It's a significant shift as the organization emerges from bankruptcy following a flood of sexual abuse claims and seeks to focus on inclusion. There's that verbal epicac. You need to throw up. You don't have any epicac. Just say I can't even say the word. Anyway, the organization, steeped in tradition, has made seismic changes after decades of turmoil, from finally allowing gay youth to welcoming girls throughout its ranks. Oh my goodness. With an eye on increasing flagging membership numbers, the Irving, Texas-based organization announced the name change Tuesday at its annual meeting in Florida. In the next 100 years, we want any youth in America to feel very, very welcome to come into our programs, Roger Crone, who took over last year as president and chief executive officer, said in an interview before the announcement. The organization began allowing gay youth in 2013 and ended a blanket ban on gay adult leaders in 2015. So wait a minute. Number one, I don't understand where the child's sexuality plays into this, even if they're of age to have a sexuality. Why does it need to be known that these little boys are gay? That has no place here. We're here to go camping, tie some knots, get some patches, have some pizza, and get the fuck out of here. Why does it even need to be known what this kid is as far as their sexual preference? And then it ended a blanket ban on gay adult leaders in 2015. So wait a minute. You got a bunch of gay men who are now in charge of little boys, and they get to take them out in the forest on overnight camping trips with no supervision, and you don't think that would be a problem with causing lawsuits, you fucking idiots? Well, Jericho, people are born gay. How? Where does the gay gene come into the mix when it takes a man and a woman to get together to smush their groins together and the guy to go, hey, don't touch me, don't touch me. Where does that gay gene come in when you are born of heterosexuality? I've said this before and I'll say it again. Gay people are a cause or are a ramification, a derivative of some kind of trauma, broken homes, molestation, something like that. Something happened to you to make you gay. You are not born that way. So you're taking a bunch of leaders who are potentially, there's a high probability that they were molested themselves, and you're going to put them in charge of little boys that they once were when they were traumatized. Got it, Boy Scouts. In 2017, it made the historic announcement that girls would be accepted as Cub Scouts as of 2018 and into the flagship Boy Scout program renamed Scouts BSA in 2019. There were nearly 1,000 young women in the inaugural class of female Eagle Scouts in 2021. The all-girls troop was a founding member including Selby Chipman, the all-girls troop she was a founding member of in her hometown of Oak Ridge, North Carolina, has grown from 5 girls to nearly 50, and she thinks the name change will encourage even more girls to realize they can join. But I thought the girls had their own group called the Girl Scouts. Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts. My 2 nieces are in Girl Scouts. We buy cookies from them every year. Did you know that the Girl Scouts make almost $1 billion a year off of cookie sales? Just want to throw that out there. I was like, damn. But don't the girls already have their own group? So why do you need to mix the girls with the boys? And even if your numbers are down, well, just like any other business, if you don't have the customers, then I guess you have to shut down. Right? The girls have the Girl Scouts and the boys have the Boy Scouts. It's important for young people to be around their kind, for young boys to be around other young boys and learn things so they can be boys. You can't be 100% who you are as a male when you are around females, period. There are some things that boys need to know. It's important to be around other young men. It's important for young ladies to be around other young ladies so they can be their true selves. The Boy Scouts' $2.4 billion bankruptcy reorganization plan took effect last year, allowing the organization to keep operating while compensating the more than 80,000 men who say they were sexually abused as children while scouting. Now, here's where I believe the broken home, the single mother comes into play. Perverts are predators. They are not unlike any kind of beast roaming the earth. We've all seen the wildlife footage of the lions, the lionesses picking out the weak one in the herd, the wildebeest, or whoever, the zebras. They pick the weak ones, the old, the weak, and the sick. They're not going to go after Mufasa because Mufasa will fuck them up. They're going to go after the young. They're going to go after the old or the sick or the injured, the easy targets. Not only are they perverts, but they are cowards. Just like these mass shooters, soft targets, gun-free zones, they are cowards. So a pervert is not going to target a young man or a young lady who comes from a strong family unit, whose dad attends the meetings, who takes them to the activities, who picks them up, who has a good relationship with them. They're not going to try to crack that shell. They're going to go after the little boy or the little girl who doesn't have a dad in the home, whose mom is stressed out and spread thin. Grandma has to come pick them up. They're going to go after the kids that come from broken homes because those are the easy targets. So yes, broken homes, i.e. single mother homes, are the targets of most of these perverts. It's nature. Then you throw the gay dudes in there? Come on. There's that famous case, Gary Plowshay. It took place in 1984. His son Jody was kidnapped and molested by his karate teacher. They were in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. He took the boy all the way out to Anaheim, California. On the way, he molested the kid. They ended up being at a motel room. And the way he got caught is he let Jody make a collect call to his mom. Now, you notice I said Jody didn't make a collect call to his dad because his family was split up. His parents were going through a divorce. They were separated. So that left Jody with who? His single mom. And that pervert, predator, karate teacher of his wormed his way into the family. He didn't just snatch Jody from karate class one day. He took time. He cultivated his perversion. He got in good with the mom. He wedged himself into the family. And then he took the boy, did those horrible things, and thankfully his dad dispensed some justice via a 357 by his right ear. You've seen the footage. They're going through the airport. There's a line of pay phones. Young people, pay phones were the phones that the public used before they had them in their pocket. He turns around, puts a gun to his head. It's a wrap. His lead count went through the roof. But they target the children of broken homes. That's why this happened to these poor kids. But Boy Scouts, if you don't got the numbers, then you got to shut down. Girls in the Boy Scouts? More inclusion. They want to have more inclusion. Let me show you this shit. Let me show you what they mean by inclusion. Let me show you what they really mean. Because they tell you, we want all kids to feel welcome in the Boy Scouts, even though it's not just boys anymore. We want everybody to feel welcome. Really? Well, then why do you have this? Let's see. It's down here. So if you want everybody to feel included and you're just there, we're just here to tie some knots and do some camping, then what's up with this shit right here? Why the alphabet soup group thing on their neckerchief? What's up with that? Why does sexuality have anything to do with the Boy Scouts? You know what this means? This is no longer just a rainbow. This is no longer God's promise to not flood the earth. This means the alphabet soup group. This represents ladies who like to eat the puss. This represents dudes that have corn and peanuts on the end of their shaft. You know what this means. Why does this have any place in the Boy Scouts or any group that has to do with children? If it's all about inclusion, well, that's a bunch of bullshit. You obviously didn't learn your lesson, Boy Scouts, because you're inviting more of the same. This shit is disgusting. And I used to be a Cub Scout when I was a kid. I almost got kicked out for telling dirty jokes, but that's another video. It was exciting. It was fun to go to the weekly meetings to earn your badges. I remember one year we made leather wallets that said #1 dad for Father's Day. Reading the books. I remember reading the books, reading the stories, doing the lessons, tying the knots, earning a badge. When you earn that badge, that's a culmination of the work that you put in, the time that you put in, learning something. And for it to be diluted like this and just become a gathering of perverts, who in their right mind would put their son in a program like this where you openly wear rainbow shit? You know what that means when you openly have gay troop leaders. Nah, I'm sorry. Just like if I had a daughter and she had a male troop leader for the Girl Scouts. Nah, bro, that shit's weird. Why you want to be around these little girls? Just like the male judges of those beauty pageants for girls. Man, what the fuck's wrong with you? You tell me what you think. I'll meet your ass in the comments. But you know how it goes. I try to be done with the left, but they just won't let me. Please subscribe, hit that notification bell, because every time it rings, a piece of shit lefty cries. Utilize the Linktree link. Make sure you hit the link to my Teespring. Get 20% off. Promo code Sloppy Joe, all caps, no spaces. And make sure you give me a follow on X at @green_Jericho. Damn it, I'm Jericho Green, and man, I'm out.